Hello and welcome. This is a presentation on a market research proposal for Amazon and their use of big data. And my name is Daniel Garcia. I'm your presenter for this presentation for class MKT 645, Marketing Research in Consumer Behavior, and that's at the California Intercontinental University. So the agenda, we're going to discuss the overview of the current problem, and then we'll talk about some of the objectives and the target audiences. We'll discuss sample size and the primary data collection and analysis, and then we'll wrap it up with an estimated timeline and the costs for the proposal. So overview of the problem. I don't think Amazon needs any introduction. Everybody's probably pretty familiar with Amazon itself and what they do. And what they do very well. So obviously I'm not criticizing anything. That their current methodology is working very well for them. They're pretty much the online retail giant. But I was really surprised to learn when I took on this project that they use very little external data sources when it comes to big data. So and that's kind of what this proposal is about, is their current use of data, particularly third-party external data, and can that be improved in order to make better product recommendations to customers, which ultimately leads to more sales for Amazon. So what Amazon currently uses for what we call big data, they use a lot of their own internal data. So customer order history, the customer browsing history. They have a wish list. So anytime you create an Amazon, you create your Amazon account, you can make these little wish lists, and something that you're not going to purchase right now, you add to the wish list. Even if you forget about it and you leave that on there for several months, Amazon is aware of that you are interested in that type of product, and they might make recommendations based on what's on your wish list. Also, your shopping cart. And this is kind of interesting to me because I buy a lot of things on Amazon, and whenever I do, nothing stays in the shopping cart for very long. It's I purchase it, it's out of the shopping cart, it's on its way. But I guess some customers, maybe they're not loyal Amazon customers, and they might put something in the shopping cart, forget about it, and kind of go on about their business. Maybe they buy something on a competitor's website. Well, Amazon's aware of this, and you don't be surprised if you get an email from them 1 or 2 days later saying, "Hey, you still have something in your shopping cart. Why don't you come take a look at it?" So this is all kind of the ways that they use the existing internal data. Also, product reviews. Anytime you write a product review, Amazon's aware of that, and not only that specific product, but what they're trying to do is put all this data together and make recommendations for you. So the next time you go to their website and you log on, they're aware of all this information that they've tracked on you, and they're gonna target little pop-ups on their website showing you, well, last time you looked at this DVD, here's a similar DVD. Maybe you're interested in this DVD. And so they use their own internal data to make these product recommendations to you that they hope will increase sales, and research has shown that it has been working. It does increase sales. However, and you can notice on my slide here, I have several things under the internal data column, not so many things under the external data column. That's because they use, according to the sources that I found, I could not find really any external data that they use other than some very basic census data, particularly your zip code. But they do a lot. They do a lot with this because they make a lot of projections and predictions on what you're going to purchase based on where you live, your zip code. However, I think in this modern age of big data, there is probably other types of external data that they could be using, which might be valuable to them in order to make product recommendations to their customers to increase sales. So that really is kind of the question that we have here at the bottom of the screen: is Amazon making use of enough external data sources to make good product recommendations to its customers, which ultimately would be more profitable for them. So objectives and target audiences. There's a theory called stakeholder theory, which suggests that every company has a set of internal and external stakeholders that are key to the company's success. So the group that we want to target here with our question about the use of external data sources, the key stakeholder for our project are Amazon's data scientists. These are the the people at Amazon that are in the best position to evaluate Amazon's current use of big data and to make recommendations for improvements to the product recommendation system. So how do we go about getting that? How do we get that information from them? How do we kind of pick their brain to see what other types of external data could be used in big data to increase Amazon's sales? So I think the best way to go about doing that is a combination of focus groups and online surveys. So for the focus groups, qualitative data would suggest that you need probably about 25 participants to get a good number of opinions. Your typical focus group runs about 8 participants. You don't want to put all 24 or 25 people in one focus group because it's too big and voices get lost and people don't get heard. So 8 participants is kind of the standard focus group. So we would need 3 focus groups of 8 participants, giving us 24 total participants in those focus groups. The type of questions that I think we would want to ask in the focus groups would be open-ended questions. We want discussion items. We want to get that information flowing and see what kind of brainstorming and what kind of information we could get from the participants. However, on the online surveys, we're going to look at a little bit bigger sample group, about 50 participants for the online surveys. And here we're looking at more structured types of Likert type scale questionnaires, something that would be a little more close-ended, so that we're hoping to get some more definitive types of answers. So when we have this data that we've collected, there's then a 5-step process that goes through the data collection. Number 1, validation and editing. 2, coding of the data. 3, the data entry. 4, data cleaning. And finally 5, tabulation and statistical analysis. So what is all this going to cost, and what kind of timeline are we looking at? I would anticipate about 1 month to complete the project, maybe a little longer than that, but let's say about a month. 1 focus group per week. 3 focus groups, so 3 weeks would be kind of the total time for the focus group. Cost for that, it's from what I found, it's usually about $13,000 per focus group. We have 3 of them, so that's $39,000 there, if my math is right. The online surveys could be done through a free service called SurveyMonkey. Probably many people are familiar with that already. There's no cost to collect that data, and because we're using primarily Likert type scale questionnaires, close-ended questions, there wouldn't be a lot of data coding that would need to be done. So that should be pretty quick to just kind of collect that and put that information together. So I'm just estimating another $500 to compile the data, the final data, and prepare the final report. So kind of looking at a total cost there of around $39,500 and probably about a 1 month time frame to collect this data. So that's it. Thanks for watching. If you have any questions or comments about this presentation, please feel free to leave me a comment on my YouTube channel. Thank you.